Welcome back, students. Today we are going to start with lesson 17, Sources of Pollution, part 1. In today's video, we are going to talk about the various sources of noise pollution and air pollution. As we have seen in the previous lesson, pollution occurs in different forms, that is, air, water, soil, radioactive, and noise pollution. Every form of pollution has two sources of occurrence, point sources and non-point sources. We begin with point sources. Point sources are direct sources of pollutants and are easy to identify, monitor, and control. As the name suggests, it comes from a single source. For example, air pollution from industrial source, water pollution from sewage treatment plants, noise pollution from a jet engine, etc. As you can see in this diagram, these are point sources. That means you can see very clearly that the water of this river is being polluted by the water treatment plant, and here you have a factory. So it is very clear to us that pollution is coming from these sources. So if we know the source, then we can monitor it also, and we can control the level of pollution also. Non-point sources. Non-point sources result from many diffuse sources. It is very difficult to trace pollution back to a single source. As these sources are difficult to identify, they are also difficult to control. For example, excess fertilizers, herbicides and insecticides from agricultural lands and residential areas, oil, grease and toxic chemicals from urban runoff. Water runoff is emptied into streams and rivers after accumulating contaminants from sources like gardens, parking lots and construction sites. So there is not one single source of pollution but many. As you can see in this diagram also, here they have mentioned the non-point sources, and there are many non-point sources. For example, the water is being contaminated from suburban development, from city streets, from rural homes, from agricultural fields. So as you can see, there is not one single source but many sources. So if we have many different sources of pollution, then it is very difficult to identify these sources, and if we can't identify them, it is very difficult to control these sources of pollution also. Now we begin with the different sources of noise pollution. Noise pollution refers to any unwanted sound which produces unpleasant effects and discomfort. With increasing population, urbanization and industrialization, noise pollution is a serious form of pollution affecting the human life, their health and comfort in daily life. The annoyance due to noise pollution may not be related to the intensity of sound. Loud music may be liked by some people, while even the feeble sound irritates a sick person. Noise is mainly a feature of modern society and the problems of city dwellers and industrial workers. So what I am trying to say is that sound becomes noise pollution when it interferes with normal activities such as sleeping, conversation, or disrupts one's quality of life. Now let's go through the different sources of noise pollution, and I'm sure you are familiar with most of them. For example, we have traffic, the blaring of horns, screeching tires of buses, cars, scooters, etc. The machines in factories and industries and their whistling sounds, crashing noise and thundering sounds cause noise pollution. In construction sites, the use of equipment like chainsaw, hammer, drill, tile cutters, etc. produce a lot of noise pollution. The use of loudspeakers during religious functions, birth, marriage, commercial advertising and political rallies, etc. cause a lot of noise pollution. Another source of noise pollution are aeroplanes and airports. Jet planes make more noise than the old propeller-driven aircraft because they have a far higher pitch. Jet noise is caused by the violent mixing of jet of gases from the engine with the surrounding air. This noise is maximum at takeoff. During landing, the main source of high frequency noise is the sound made by the air compressor and turbine blades. Before landing, the aircrafts pass close to the ground for quite a distance, resulting in noise pollution. So, the constant taking off of aeroplanes and their landing is a source of continuous irritation for the people who live in residential area near or around the airport. And then, as you can see in this picture, there are some residential areas where the aeroplanes fly very close to the houses. Again, as you can see in this picture, it's just flying directly above the residential houses. So you can imagine the amount of noise pollution that the people living in these areas have to suffer from. Then we have households. Household is a source of many indoor noises such as music system, radio, television sets, mixer grinders, pressure cooker, vacuum cleaner, etc. Then you have agricultural equipment used in villages, tractors, tube wells, threshers, harvesters, etc., which create a lot of noise pollution. Then we have the defense services. The defense services, that means the army, the navy and the air force, have always to be prepared for war. So they have constant exercises and drills. So exercise drills by tanks, shooting practices, exercising of military airplanes, war simulations, etc. create a lot of noise pollution. And then there are other miscellaneous sources like blasting of rocks, drilling tube wells, bulldozing and stone crushing, noise from automobile repair shops, etc. Now we begin with the various sources of air pollution. The contamination of air by pollutants like dust, smoke and harmful gases which cause adverse effects on human beings, animals, plants and their environment is known as air pollution. The air pollutants can be classified in the following ways. According to origin, there are two types of pollutants. First we have primary pollutants. These are pollutants that are emitted directly from the sources and are found in the atmosphere in the form in which they are emitted. Primary pollutants can be emitted from many sources including automobiles, thermal power plants, natural gas power plants, biomass burning, natural forest fires, volcanoes and many more. So as you can see in this diagram, we have examples of primary pollutants. We have particulate matter, that is ash, smoke, dust, etc., nitric oxide, nitrogen dioxide, volatile organic compounds, ammonia, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, etc. Next we have secondary pollutants. Secondary pollutants are formed due to the chemical interaction between the atmospheric components and primary pollutants. So secondary pollutants are not emitted directly into the air. They form in air when primary pollutants react or interact. For example, sulfur trioxide, ozone and peroxyacetyl nitrate. Sulfur trioxide is formed when sulfur dioxide reacts with water in the air. Peroxyacetyl nitrate and ozone are formed in the atmosphere by the reaction of nitrogen oxides and volatile organic compounds or hydrocarbons in the presence of sunlight. Volatile hydrocarbons are organic compounds consisting of carbon and hydrogen and having a tendency to become gases. They are called volatile because they are volatile and can easily vaporize into the atmosphere at room temperature. Volatile hydrocarbons are found in gasoline, paints, pesticides, cleaning supplies, glues, adhesives, etc. So as you can see in this diagram, here we have peroxyacetyl nitrate being formed by the reaction between nitrogen oxides and volatile organic compounds in the presence of sunlight. Here also ozone is being formed in the presence of sunlight by the reaction between nitrogen oxides and volatile organic compounds. Next we come to air pollutants according to state of matter. And first we have gaseous air pollutants. These are pollutants that exist in a gaseous state at normal temperature and pressure. For example, carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxides, sulfur oxides, etc. Next are particulate air pollutants. Particulate air pollutants refer to anything solid or liquid or a mixture of the two suspended in the air. It includes smoke, fumes, soot, wind-blown dust, sea salt, pollen, fly ash, etc. Fly ash is the ash produced by the burning of powdered coal or other material and carried into the air. It could also include harmful substances like asbestos, fluorides, lead and mercury. Next we have air pollutants according to sources, starting with natural sources. Natural sources include volcanic eruptions, forest fires, dust storms, gases coming from decaying plants, pollen from seed-bearing plants, spores from fungi, suspended particles, landslides, floods, etc. Next are man-made sources. Human activity is responsible for most of the world's air pollution. Everything from smoking cigarettes to burning fossil fuels pollutes the air. Emissions from automobiles and industries, burning of garbage, burning of fossil fuels, brick kilns, nuclear experiments, power plants, suspended particulate matter from agriculture, mining, etc. cause air pollution. The major source of air pollution are vehicles. Vehicles which operate on fossil fuels such as coal and petroleum are a major source of air pollution in the cities all over the world. They contribute about 70% of the total air pollution. The main pollutants emitted by vehicles are carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, oxides of nitrogen, unburned hydrocarbons and suspended particulate matter. The exhaust from the vehicles also contains some sulfur dioxide. Vehicles are the single largest source of carbon monoxide, which bonds easily with hemoglobin. It can inhibit the delivery of oxygen to different parts of the human body. Air pollution is also caused by gaseous and volatile hydrocarbons such as methane, acetylene and ethylene. As I've already explained earlier, volatile hydrocarbons are organic compounds consisting of carbon and hydrogen and having a tendency to become gases. Volatile hydrocarbons are found in paints, gasoline, pesticides, aerosol sprays, various cleaning agents, disinfectants, air fresheners, glue, and even in dry cleaned clothes. Hydrocarbons like ethylene can undergo chemical reactions in the presence of sunlight and nitrogen oxide to form secondary pollutants like ozone. As I have already shown you in this diagram, in the presence of sunlight, nitrogen oxides and volatile organic compounds react with each other to form ozone. The next source of air pollution are industries. Many types of industries such as metallurgical, chemical, cement, sugar, pulp and paper, cotton textiles, synthetic rubber, oil refineries, coal-based thermal power plants emit smoke and toxic gases like oxides of carbon, nitrogen and sulfur, and suspended particulate matter. The smoke coming out from the factories has small particles of dust, carbon, metals, other solids, liquids, and radioactive materials which pollute the air. Factory emissions or industrial emissions also lead to the formation of acid rain. Now let us understand what acid rain is. Acid rain describes any form of precipitation that contains high levels of nitric acid and sulfuric acid. The burning of fossil fuels releases sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides into the atmosphere. These air pollutants react with water, oxygen, and other substances to form airborne sulfuric acid and nitric acid. When acid rain reaches the Earth's surface, it enters water systems and sinks into the soil. Acid rain changes the composition of soil and bodies of water, making them uninhabitable for local animals and plants. It even affects buildings and statues. Here in these two pictures, you can see the effect of acid rain on statues and vegetation. Industrial emissions also cause smog. Smog is air pollution that reduces visibility. The term smog was first used in the early 1900s to describe a mixture of smoke and fog. Smog is common in big cities with a lot of industries and traffic. It is unhealthy to humans and animals, and it can kill plants. Smog is also ugly. It makes the sky brown or grey. Smog is very common in winter months because due to severe cold, the use of coal and fossil fuels to heat homes and for other purposes increases. Cities like Kanpur and Delhi suffer from severe smog conditions. In Delhi, the situation is aggravated because of the burning of stubble in the neighboring agricultural areas. Stubble burning is the act of setting fire to crop residue after harvesting to remove them from the field to sow the next crop. In order to plant next winter crop, farmers in Haryana and Punjab have to move in a very short interval, and if they are late due to short winters, they might face considerable losses. Therefore, burning is the cheapest and fastest way to get rid of the stubble. The last source of air pollution is the burning of garbage. Garbage is the organic component of the domestic, municipal and commercial waste. It also includes garden litter, forest debris, bushes, crop residue, weeds and other vegetarian waste. The most popular and convenient method for the disposal of garbage is burning it in open air or in incinerators. The burning of garbage produces gases like carbon dioxide, oxides of nitrogen and sulfur, and suspended particulate matter like smoke, soot and ash. All these gases and pollutants reach the atmosphere in large quantities and pollute the air. I conclude my video here. In today's lecture, I explained the various sources of noise pollution and air pollution. Thank you and have a nice day.